story time of why my primary school years were the worst school years of my life. So, basically, when I was in, say, like, year 1, 2, and 3, I had these two girls, and they were like, I thought they were going to be my BFFs for life. Like, we were, like, inseparable. Like, proper inseparable. And so, in, like, let's say, I think it was our third year of school in year 3, we all did a pact outside, and I remember it word for word. I'm not naming the girls' names, but we said, please pray, like, please we hope and, like, dream that Izzy and then the two girls are going to be in the same class in year 4. So that happened, and we all ended up being in the same class, but this is where it started going downhill. Because I used to sit with them, like, every day at lunch. Every day. And, yeah, and then they started getting, like, a bigger group. Fine, at first the bigger group, like, accepted me and was, like, happy for me, because obviously where I can't see, they were happy to, like, accommodate me and stuff. And it was absolutely fine. There was, like, a few other girls. Honestly, I'm not going to name their names, but honestly, I can't even remember all of their names. But, yeah, so that happened. And then the two original girls started, like, going off with the bigger group and, like, not really including me that much. Like, they were basically just leaving me out, like, ostracizing me, not including me, like, excluding me. And so that all happened, and then that was great, and it also made me really sad. So I started hanging out, like, by myself at break, and all, like, the teachers like, Izzy, you alright? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But I was actually really sad, and everyone, like, literally everyone asked me if I was okay, and I always said, yeah, I'm fine. But then, basically, I made a new friend, and I'm not going to name what her name is, like, it's not anything bad, but I'm just not going to name any names. But I made a new friend, I think, yeah, we've been friends since I was, like, 8 or 9, so for years now. And basically, yeah, like, we weren't super close at first, but then we started proper bonding. Like, we proper bonded, and we started hanging out after school. Like, I think it was every Thursday or every other Thursday, my mum would, like, take her home to her house in our car. We would stop to get, like, slushies and sweets together and stuff. If you're watching this, you know who you are. But basically, that all happened, and it was really good. And because she walked home most of the time, so sometimes my mum gave her a lift when my mum picked me up from school. So then I had my first sleepover at her house. It was all really good. Then basically, after, like, a couple years, well, like, after a few months, like a year, basically, this girl and me, we started having, like, fractures in our friendship. Like, we started having little gaps and, like, bond breaks and stuff, because when I went to a sleepover at her house, she'd always be, like, mean. Not always mean, just, like, meh. Like, not really, you know, like, not really how a friend is supposed to act. Like, just quite rude. And then, basically, she started, like, saying to her mum, like, making things up about me. And that made me really upset, because obviously we've been friends for, like, a year at this point, and I thought we were so close, which we were close. And there was this one sleepover where, like, basically, I went into her room, and we were watching my favourite film at the time called Megan. I still love that film to this day. And I was just watching, and I asked her to describe it to me. And then I, like, hummed one of the songs under my breath. And she said she didn't want me to hum it, which was okay. And I said, okay, you could just give it about 30 seconds and I won't hum. That's absolutely fine, I'm sorry. But sometimes I just hum it, because obviously I can't see, so I, like, make use of my other, like, senses. And so then she started going downstairs to her mum saying I'd been really mean. And I went downstairs and she had one of those, well, I tried to go downstairs, and while she was walking down the stairs, she had one of those like banisters that had like the gaps in, like the wooden ones with the gaps. And so my foot was stood there, so I was trying to like figure out. And she like proper slapped my foot. And it was like, oh my god. She proper slapped my foot. And it really hurt. And it was like bruised for like weeks. And then, so that was fine. I ended up going home a lot of play dates and sleepovers at her house after that. Move on to like year 5. Basically, I became friends with this other girl who I thought she was really sweet. I was still friends with the girl who hit me at this point. Like, we're still friends now. But basically, that girl that I met in year 5, the newest one in this story, was basically, yeah, she seemed really nice, but she didn't have WhatsApp. So I used my mum's phone to message her on a different app. And basically, we started meeting up. I never went to her house, which I thought was like, strange, but it's okay. One time she had a sleepover at mine, and then we went to a trampoline park called Flip Out, and then she went home and started saying to her mum that I had strangled her and all that when I just held her hand for her to guide me, because there was lots of like kids and stuff around, because obviously I can't see. So that happened, and then basically we got into a massive fight, and in the end she said it was her brother. And I was like, okay, but it's not an excuse to tell your mum. Like, how would your brother tell your mum that I strangled you and all that? So we cut off our friendship after like 7 months. I was still friends with the other girl at this point who hit me. Like I said, we're still friends. So then year 6 happened, right? There was this other girl, me, the girl who hit me, and this other girl were all in like a friendship group. There was the 3 of us. And basically we were all sitting with each other, and it was like fine. But then this new girl, she was always nice to me and guiding me, and I'm still friends with her a little bit. I don't talk to her very much, but I'm still friends with her. And basically she started, I don't know how to explain it, just not being very nice to me. And in the end of that term, she texted me saying, oh, Izzy, I never liked you, I always pretended, which always made me really upset, because I'd always been really nice and encouraging to her. Like, she was a brilliant singer, and I always said to her, oh, girl, you're an amazing singer, like, keep going, you're gonna make it, and all that stuff. I was always nice to her about it. And then he said to me that she really didn't like me and anything, which was fine. And then basically she apologized for that. And then, so this rumour started going around that I was faking my blindness. That went round for months. People still talk about it. Still talk about it. And at that time, I had some LSAs, like the teachers were my LSAs, but also I had this specific LSA. She was so amazing with me. She's been with me literally since I started school, and she left when I left, and she was like the most amazing LSA like I've ever had. And basically she was always like helping me and stuff, and she heard all these rumors. She got like really mad about it and stuff. So like, yeah. And then basically there was a lot more bullies, and at that time I was friends with a girl outside of school who I am no longer friends with, but that's a story for another day. So basically I started getting, probably because at that time I was friends with someone who was obsessed with Taylor Swift, and so that girl got me into Taylor Swift quite a lot. And so I was obsessed with Taylor Swift when I was about 10 or 11 years old for a while. I don't mind Taylor Swift, but she's definitely not my favourite. Like, I don't like her very much at all anymore. There's, like, certain songs I like. But everyone started coming up to me and bullying me and stuff. And everyone just started making comments about my site. And it just all went downhill. Fast forward to the end of year 6. I had lost nearly all of my friends. I had been in a popular group for a while, which we're not getting into, but I was back in that original group at the very start of the story with those 2 girls. And then, it just went downhill and they never liked me anymore. And so fast forward, we were doing our end of year 6 production, which was The Wizard of Oz, but me and this other girl did 2 songs from the musical Wicked. And I still really like Wicked, and Wicked is one of my favourite things. I love Wicked. It's definitely, it is one of my favourite things, but it's not my absolute favourite anymore. Descendants currently, I've loved Descendants since I was 7, but anyway, back to the topic. I started being made fun of for liking the school play. I started being made fun of for learning lyrics, and this girl was just never very nice to me who I sang with. She commented on how I sang and decided she wanted to give me singing lessons, but everyone else said that I needed singing lessons from her. And I was like, okay, so she gave me one, and I was like, no, absolutely not, because she was singing off key and stuff. And I have recently been learning how to figure out keys and notes on the piano. Say, I figured out how to play If Only from Descendants. Yeah, and then, what was it? Something like that. I don't even know. I haven't been doing that song for very long. But basically, I don't know, guys. Ignore my piano. Basically, they all started making fun of me being off key and stuff, and it was just great. The school play went. And, yeah, I ended the primary school with one friend who actually I cried a lot. And also, I don't know, because that friend who hit me, but the friend who's also quite nice to me now, I went on call with her last night. She, basically, she moved away very far. She moved hours away. She used to live 4 minutes down the road from me. She now lives about 5 hours, which was really hard, but I had to accept it. And the last day she came to school, it was it was horrible. But we still have each other's numbers, and I'm going to reveal her name. Elise Falman. Elise Falman, you are still my best friend. You moved away, but I think of you every day. I think of all our memories we used to have and stuff, and I would not be the girl I am today without you, so thank you so much. But that is my story. I'm sorry it was really long, but there was a lot of drama. There was a lot more drama that I'm not going to get into. But I hope you guys really enjoyed, and that is why primary school was the worst years of my life.